Tonight, more coverage of the high-profile special election being watched all across America right here in Georgia, the race to replace Tom Price. Our exclusive poll on the 6th District with Survey USA showing the Democrat Jon Ossoff leading the race by 7 points with 51% of the vote, compared with the Republican Karen Handel with 44%. Joining me right now to get some perspective on these polls, Republican consultant Mike Hassinger and the former Democratic State Representative LaDawn Jones. Are you guys surprised by the numbers that we are showing in this poll right now with Mr. Ossoff up by 7 points? LaDawn, started. I'm
pretty surprised that it was so far off, and I don't want Democrats to get a false comfort. We really need to ensure that we're pounding the pavement all the way to the end. 7 points up is pretty high, and I think it has a lot to do with what's going on in our national politics.
Mike, we had a survey, and I remember this very well, a Survey USA poll that had Jack Kingston on top of David Perdue, to the point where I was sent to Kingston campaign headquarters that night, and by 7:15 he was giving his concession speech. So these polls are not always right. There are a lot of Republicans that believe that they are not a true sampling.
Well, I think it's a true sampling, but you have to remember it's a moment in time. It's a snapshot. It's not to be used as a predictive kind of tool because things change. We're still a month out from this election, just under a month, and it's anything can happen, from Donald Trump committing a gaffe to a terrorist attack in London.
This campaign is crazy in this sense. Both candidates would seem to be somewhat docile, somewhat passive, at least in the flesh. But all of this is being done by proxy, waged on television by all kinds of PACs, all kinds of money that's coming from out of Georgia, and it gives a sort of look to this race of which we have not seen.
Absolutely. Well, the candidates are benefiting from this additional money coming in. They can put out their full platforms and all of their energy into the television ads. But there's also been a lot of criticism here on the ground where Karen Handel has not been showing up. She has not been coming to the big events, and I think part of her strategy is to avoid having to talk about some of those problems she has in her background.
Do you agree with that?
No, I think Karen Handel's not showing up to things that she would give an upstart a chance to catch her on. I think she's truly a front runner. I think she's out in front, and she's got a built-in base, a reputation, and a public record of service that Jon Ossoff can't match unless he becomes the shiny object.
Do you think that Jon Ossoff has gotten a lot of positive press throughout all of this that Handel simply is not going to get because she is a known quantity in the state?
I think he's getting positive press for that. But then there's another factor as well. It's the messaging in the whole campaign. You have on the Handel side the not one of us type of messaging that is being connected with the establishment, right? So she doesn't have to show up because she's a well-known face. Whereas Jon Ossoff is putting out the type of messaging that explains his position, where he's coming from, and really trying to talk to the voter that is in the middle and wants to see real change in D.C.
I'm going to give you a volley on that, too.
Well, I think that Jon Ossoff is benefiting from very, very favorable media coverage in the Metro Atlanta market, not all across all mediums. I think that he is a sexier story. He is a shinier object. He is one that more people want to hear about because he's Rocky Balboa. On the other side, you have Karen Handel with just a proven record of being a competent conservative public office holder. She's done a very good job with that, but that's boring.
This is a crazy race. I mean, it really is a very unusual race. So if the polling is not indeed correct by June 20th, and you were in charge of all soothsaying and revealing, how do you think this is going to look June 20th about 10 p.m.?
There have only been 5 special congressional elections in Georgia since 1977. Every single one of them was predicted incorrectly. And I hate to make predictions, but if you force me, I will say...
I am forcing you.
60% for Handel, 40% for Ossoff.
You think it's going to be that high?
Yes.
I think Ossoff can take it away, not by as big of a margin, winning by about 54%.
All right, guys. That couldn't be any more different, your take on this singular race, than what you have shared with us tonight. Thanks so much.